A poor boy returns home, only to discover a world where people fly, demons exist, and power decides everything. With nothing but luck and brains, he joins the deadliest immortal sect, where one wrong choice can kill, and one smart move can change destiny. But what no one expected. He didn't pass the trials with strength. He broke the system. Under the pouring rain, a lone figure walked along a narrow path leading toward the Manhua sect. Not far away, a young maiden with long, flowing silver hair walked gracefully. Her presence was ethereal, like a celestial fairy descending into the mortal world. "Hello, big sister," a voice suddenly called out from a nearby horse carriage. The old horse moved forward a few steps before slowly coming to a stop. The man inside the carriage spoke gently. "You're walking in this direction. You must also be heading to the Manhua sect trials. Since it's raining, why not come inside and rest for a while?" The woman looked slightly surprised, but after thinking for a moment, she nodded and stepped into the carriage. Once inside, she spoke politely. "Yunji thanks you both." Sitting across from her were two young men. The first, a young man with blue hair holding a fan, smiled and introduced himself. "I am Ming Jinghao. There's no need to be so polite, big sister. After all, we are traveling the same path. Perhaps we may even belong to the same sect in the future." The other was the male protagonist. He cupped his hands respectfully and said, "I am Lu Yang. Big sister, there's no need to thank me either. I was also invited into the carriage by Brother Ming while I was traveling." The moment Yunji entered the carriage, both Ming Jinghao and Lu Yang were completely stunned. Even Ming Jinghao, who prided himself on his vast experience, had never seen such beauty before. As for Lu Yang, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen before this was the tofu-selling young widow next door. Of course, Lu Yang was a proper gentleman. He harbored no improper thoughts. Ming Jinghao quickly broke the silence with excitement. "Ha ha! It's all fate. Brother Lu and I have been chatting happily, and we were just discussing the Manhua sect entrance test." He continued enthusiastically, speaking non-stop. "The Manhua sect, one of the 5 great immortal sects, is extremely strict when it comes to recruiting disciples." He raised a finger. "First, you must be under 16 years old." Another finger. "Second, your spiritual root must not be too poor. And finally, you must pass 2 stages of trials." He leaned forward slightly as he explained. "The first stage tests decision-making. Imagine a flying sword going out of control. Do you let it continue and kill 5 people, or do you redirect it to kill 1 person instead?" He paused, then continued. "The second stage tests honesty. The sect has a mirror that can determine whether your words are true or false. If you lie, you are immediately disqualified." He laughed and gave an example. "Who is the most handsome person in the world? Ha ha, me. Truth. You pass." Then he concluded. "You must answer the mirror's questions truthfully. Only after passing both stages can you become a disciple of the Manhua sect." He smiled proudly. "If you have any questions, feel free to ask me." Lu Yang immediately stood up excitedly and raised his hand, eager to ask something. But Ming Jinghao smiled and interrupted him. "Ahem, ladies first." He turned toward Yunji. "Big sister Yunji, you may ask first." Yunji spoke softly. "The contents of these trials are supposed to be secret. May I ask, how does young Master Ming know about them?" Ming Jinghao proudly opened his fan, looking extremely pleased. "I bought this information for a hefty price from an elder of the Manhua sect." He added, "I was traveling alone to participate in the trials today. Meeting you 2 fellow Taoists along the way must be fate, so I shared this information, but please don't spread it around." Lu Yang was completely shocked. "Isn't this cheating?" He suddenly panicked. We're not far from the sect. What if a powerful expert overhears us? The transmigrator quickly flung open the window and shouted loudly. I didn't ask for this. I'm a victim too. At that very moment, outside the carriage, on a large tree hidden within the rain, a mysterious black-cloaked figure could faintly be seen, silently observing. Inside the carriage, Ming Jinghao hurriedly covered Lu Yang's mouth. Don't worry, Brother Lu. Listen to me, he said confidently. My carriage is no ordinary one. Lu Yang blinked. What? Ming Jinghao declared proudly. It's a 3-no carriage. Lu Yang looked confused. 3-no? Ming Jinghao explained with confidence. No obstruction. It has a one-way observation window. You can see outside, but no one can see in. No bumps. It's equipped with super shock absorbers and jade horses, smooth on any terrain. No detection. It has a privacy mode. No divine sense can penetrate inside. He spread his arms proudly. Safe, comfortable, and durable. Lu Yang finally let out a sigh of relief. I see. Ming Jinghao smirked. I didn't expect Brother Lu to be so upright. But the moment Lu Yang heard the word, safe, his attitude completely changed. He leaned forward eagerly. Since no one can hear us. Brother Ming, tell me more. Are there any shortcuts? The kind that guarantees passing? The other two fell completely silent. The carriage continued forward and soon passed through the sect gates. Lu Yang peeked outside. Oh? The rain has stopped? Ming Jinghao shook his head. No. It's the Wendao sect's Grand Protective Formation. It blocks the rain. Looking up, they saw countless mystical beasts and magical artifacts flying toward a towering mountain that pierced the sky. Ming Jinghao was shocked. Oh my god, this sect gate is far more imposing than my Ming family's estate. Lu Yang felt deeply moved. It's been over 10 years since I transmigrated into this world, and I'm finally seeing real cultivators. But soon, worry crept into his heart. What if my spiritual root isn't good enough? Ming Jinghao noticed his concern and patted his shoulder. Brother Lu, look at those people flying above. They are core disciples of the Wendao sect, under the guidance of major elders. He smiled. Who knows? They might become our senior brothers and sisters in the future. Soon, powerful figures of the sect appeared, carrying themselves with dignity and authority as they prepared to begin the ceremony. Ming Jinghao rubbed his hands nervously. They're all here. Once the host arrives, the first test, spiritual roots, will begin. He swallowed. This pressure, it's making me nervous. What about you, Brother Lu? Lu Yang nodded. I'm nervous too. He turned to look at Yunji. Miss Yunji. But before he could finish, Yunji had already walked away. Step by step, a white lotus bloomed beneath her feet, carrying her into the air. Each step was graceful, elegant, and unreal. The crowd erupted into chaos. The senior members quickly silenced their juniors, cold sweat forming on their foreheads. Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao were completely stunned. Brother Ming, what is happening? I don't know. The trail of white lotus flowers extended all the way to the center of the sect. The disciples bowed respectfully. Yunji turned around, smiling gently at the crowd. Thank you all for waiting. Her voice was calm yet authoritative. I am the eldest senior sister of the Wendao sect, and the host of this trial. I now declare, the trials officially begin. Then, she glanced at Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao, who were still standing there with their mouths wide open. A playful, knowing smile appeared on her lips. I did say I came to participate in the trials. But I never said I was a candidate. I am the examiner. Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao had only one thought left in their minds. It's over. They couldn't believe that they had actually discussed cheating, right in front of the examiner. Lu Yang nervously bit his finger and asked, "Brother Ming, Miss Yunji won't kick us out, right?" Ming Jinghao suddenly exploded with anger and shouted, "Why be afraid? If we get kicked out in public, we'll use that humiliation as motivation. We'll train harder, encounter countless fortuitous opportunities, rise to the heavens, and become existences that even the 5 great immortal sects will look up to." He paused dramatically. "Isn't that how it always goes in storybooks? The protagonist gets humiliated, falsely accused, loses face, and then wipes out the enemy's entire family." Then his tone shifted awkwardly. "But it seems Miss Yunji doesn't even need to falsely accuse us." Lu Yang nodded slowly. "That makes sense. But I still want to try." He looked at Ming Jinghao. "What about you, Brother Ming?" Lu Yang then made up his mind. His gaze sharpened. After all, this was the only chance in his life to truly step onto the path of cultivation. He looked at the immortals floating in the sky, thought for a moment, and said firmly, "Since Miss Yunji hasn't said anything yet, I'm going to try. This might be the only opportunity in my entire life." Ming Jinghao immediately responded, "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go line up. Let's go." The testing of spiritual roots was the first major hurdle on the path to immortality. If one's spiritual root was poor, no matter how many resources were invested, their cultivation would never go far. For the first round, everyone lined up to have their spiritual roots tested. Most of the candidates already knew their own spiritual roots. Only a few people, like Lu Yang, had come simply to try their luck because the sect was nearby. At the front sat a Wenao sect disciple, De Buffon. True to his extraordinary name, he cultivated a unique technique. By injecting his spiritual energy into another person's body, he could instantly determine their spiritual root, cultivation method, and even their combat weaknesses. Like an experienced physician, all he needed to do was place 2 fingers on someone's wrist. Metal, water, fire, triple spiritual root. Passable. You pass. 18 years old. Over the age limit. Go back. Water and wood, dual spiritual root. You suffered heavy trauma at 12, damaging your foundation, but an expert healed you. You pass. The candidate was stunned. "You can tell all that just by feeling my pulse?" After the candidate left, another disciple stepped forward and congratulated De Buffon. "Senior brother De, you can now see cause and effect just by taking a pulse. Your cultivation has improved again. Congratulations." De Buffon replied calmly. "Oh, that expert who healed him was me." Before the disciple could say anything else, De Buffon waved him off. Next. The next candidate was a young novice monk. De Buffon immediately recognized him. "A monk from Xiankong Temple? What are you doing here? You still carry the abbot's brand within your body. Go back to your temple." Hearing this, Lu Yang whispered, "Xiankong Temple, isn't that one of the 5 great immortal sects?" Ming Jinghao nodded cheerfully. "That's right. But they have very few members. Even at their peak, they've never had more than 10 people." De Buffon continued testing. Suddenly he exclaimed in surprise, "Huh! Ancient barbarian bloodline. I haven't seen this in a long time." The burly young man grinned happily after passing. Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao were shocked. Was this giant really only 16? De Buffon began to grow bored. Next. But the moment he touched the next candidate, his eyes widened in shock. His entire expression changed. He shouted loudly, "Single! Single!" His booming voice attracted everyone's attention. "Single spiritual root!" Ming Jinghao was confused. What's going on? An ethereal voice suddenly spoke. Junior brother De is not mistaken. You truly possess a single spiritual root. Yunji explained calmly. That is its academic name. In the cultivation world, however, people are more accustomed to calling it by its common name. Pure Yang spiritual root, De Buffon added. A mutated single-element root. Extremely resolute. Extremely pure. The natural enemy of ghosts and spirits. If you maintain your pure body, your cultivation will progress rapidly. But if you lose it, your cultivation will plummet just as fast. You pass. Proceed to the next stage. Ming Jinghao burst into tears. No wonder they never let me get close to women. No wonder they prepared for a second child after testing my spiritual root. So that's why. Lu Yang muttered quietly. Brother Ming, why does the common name sound more advanced than the academic one? Yunji paused for a moment, then replied calmly. The first senior who possessed this root named it single spiritual root. The cultivation world has a tradition of respecting predecessors who are single. It sounded convincing. Barely. Now it was Lu Yang's turn. De Buffon's pupils shrank slightly. Sword and sword. Lu Yang immediately shouted. Say the common name. De Buffon corrected himself. Oh, sword spiritual root. Unstoppable. Extremely offensive. Lu Yang was annoyed. Sword, 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 what kind of name is that? Still, you pass. Proceed to the next stage. Behind De Buffon lay a bamboo forest. The second round would take place there. Ming Jinghao rushed over excitedly. Brother Lu, how was it? What's your spiritual root? Lu Yang hesitated. It's okay. Ming Jinghao smiled. Even if it's average, you're still my brother. Then he froze. Sword spiritual root? He looked conflicted. Half happy. Half disappointed. You can't stand seeing your brother suffer, but you also don't want to see him driving a Land Rover. Lu Yang blinked. I understand the feeling, but what's a Land Rover? It's a good thing. Time passed. More and more candidates were eliminated. Those who passed advanced to the second round. Some whispers spread. There were even more candidates with special constitutions. Then, Yunji stepped forward again. The second round will now begin. A mysterious space unfolded. Fog spread everywhere, blocking everyone's vision. The candidates began stepping into the mist. Ming Jinghao said nervously. Brother Lu, something feels off about this fog. Everyone felt uneasy. Lu Yang tried to reassure him. Don't panic. The second test is about the flying sword. We probably aren't allowed to communicate. This fog is likely just separating us. Both of them steadied their resolve. So be it. Brother Lu, see you at the finish line. See you at the finish line. Meanwhile, in the observation area, De Buffon sighed. I hope more people pass. There are some good candidates in this batch. It would be a pity if they fail here. Yunji asked. Junior brother De, who do you think will pass? De Buffon stroked his chin. The ancient barbarian, for sure. They're known for being simple-minded. The ones with the single spiritual root and sword spiritual root also look promising. They seem like honest people. Honest. Yunji immediately remembered Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao discussing cheating inside the carriage. She then asked calmly, By the way, junior brother De, has any elder been short on money recently? De Buffon looked confused. I haven't heard anything like that. Why do you ask? Yunji replied casually. Oh, nothing. I just heard that an elder sold information about our trial stages, from 20 years ago. The moment she said that, De Buffon and the disciples behind him turned pale. Cold sweat began pouring down their faces. De Buffon explained the second round to Yunji, the eldest senior sister. There is no need to worry. The examination venue is the bamboo forest illusion. It causes people to forget their identities, forget the test, forget everything, and act purely based on their true nature. He continued. Moreover, the current test is completely different from the one 20 years ago. It was personally designed by the senior river spirit of the bamboo forest, to test honesty and greed. Meanwhile, the burly young man from the ancient barbarian tribe, Mangu, stood in confusion. His name itself meant barbaric nature, perfectly matching his bloodline. Having forgotten everything, he found himself standing beside a shimmering river. In his hand was a worn-out axe. Suddenly, the axe slipped from his grip and fell into the river. Just as Mangu was about to retrieve it, the river began to bubble. The bubbles grew larger and larger until a fountain of water shot upward. A celestial-like old man emerged. Holding 3 axes, the old man asked, "Young man, I am the river spirit. Did you drop this worn-out axe? Or this spirit artifact, the mountain-splitting axe? Or perhaps, this immortal artifact, the heaven-splitting axe?" These 2 legendary axes were famous across the central continent. Even a mortal could rise to greatness if they possessed them. Manga answered without hesitation. It was the worn-out axe. The river spirit smiled. What an honest young man. I will reward you with all 3 axes. And just like that, Manga passed the second round. From afar, De Buffon crossed his arms proudly. The condition to pass this stage is simple. Obtain all 3 axes. And the method is honesty. I told you already, ancient barbarians are simple-minded. This stage is no problem for them. He then shifted his attention. Now, let's see how those 2, single spiritual root and sword spiritual root, handle it. The river spirit appeared again. Young man, I am the river spirit. Did you drop this worn-out axe? Or the mountain-splitting axe? Or the heaven-splitting axe? Lu Yang frowned slightly. Something felt off. It was as if an unseen force had made him drop the axe. He looked at the 3 axes carefully, then raised his head and looked at the river spirit with a strange expression. Almost pitying. 2 of those axes belong to you. You don't even know your own belongings? Why are you asking me? The river spirit froze. Speechless. He could only follow along. I truly don't know which 2 are mine. Lu Yang narrowed his eyes. In that case, if I choose one, you won't suddenly remember and say the other 2 are yours, right? Of course not. The river spirit replied immediately. Inside, he thought, I'll just give him whichever one he picks. He still needs 3 to pass anyway. Lu Yang nodded calmly. All right. Let me examine them first. The river spirit handed over all 3 axes. Muttering, trying to trick me won't work. Only the one you dropped counts. My rules are flawless, Lu Yang said. Okay. Now ask me again. The river spirit repeated. Did you drop the worn-out axe? Or the mountain-splitting axe? Or the heaven-splitting axe? Before he could react, Lu Yang suddenly threw all 3 axes back into the river. Then he said innocently, I dropped all of them. The river spirit's face twisted, grinding his teeth. What an honest young man. You may take all 3 axes. My axes, elsewhere? Ming Jinghao was in his own illusion. The moment his axe fell, his first instinct was to dive into the river to retrieve it. The river spirit appeared again. Young man, you? Before he could finish, Ming Jinghao jumped straight into the river. The river spirit was stunned. The bubbles are even bigger than mine. What is going on? Then, the river began to ripple violently. 3 massive water jets burst upward. Golden mist filled the air. When it cleared, 3 identical figures appeared. All of them were Ming Jinghao. But each one carried a completely different aura. One was mortal. One was a powerful cultivator. One was an immortal. This was the principle of the illusion. Anything falling into the river would manifest in 3 forms: mortal, spirit, immortal. All 3 axes. Hand them over. The 3 Ming Jinghas spoke simultaneously. Before the river spirit could react, each version grabbed an axe. The immortal Ming Jinghao took the heaven-splitting axe. The cultivator Ming Jinghao took the mountain-splitting axe. The mortal Ming Jinghao sneakily grabbed the worn-out axe. In an instant, all 3 axes were taken. The illusion shattered. Ming Jinghao passed. He returned proudly. "Ha ha! I passed." Then he asked, "Brother Lu, how about you?" Lu Yang replied calmly, "Piece of cake." He added with a smirk, "They even changed the test questions. Was your information useful?" Ming Jinghao answered instantly, "Completely useless." The 2 burst into laughter, hidden within the mist. The examiners watched silently. Yunji and the other disciples slowly turned their heads toward de Buffon. Their expressions clearly said, "Honest people." De Buffon could only laugh awkwardly. "Ha ha! I misjudged. I misjudged." Suddenly, a furious roar echoed through the sky. The real river spirit appeared, holding a golden axe and a silver axe. "Where are those 2 brats? I will teach them a lesson today." The disciples rushed to stop him. "Senior River Spirit, please calm down. Please don't be angry." But he roared, "Don't stop me. I will break their arms and legs, reattach them, and chop them off 100 times. Finally, de Buffon stepped forward. "Senior, please calm your anger. If anything happens to the candidates, the sect will become a laughingstock." The river spirit snorted. "De Buffon, this 3rd test was designed by you, right?" De Buffon nodded confidently. "Yes. It will definitely teach those 2 a lesson." The river spirit growled, "What is your test?" De Buffon raised his hand. A miniature mountain appeared in his palm. "This is Mount Wushan, a mystical treasure refined by an elder. Inside it, immortals and mortals are equal. Everyone's physique is unified." He smirked. "Just watch those 2 suffer." With a flick of his hand, the mountain expanded instantly. Within seconds, it grew hundreds of zhang tall. Dense with lush greenery, it looked like a real mountain. A long staircase stretched from the base to the summit. De Buffon announced loudly, "The final test, climb Mount Wushan. The higher you climb, the stronger your will. There is no time limit. You may use treasures and tools. As long as you reach the 50th step, you pass." Everyone looked at each other, then turned toward the strongest among them. "Mangu, I'll go first. Step by step. 1, 2, 3, 10 steps." He showed no strain at all. But from the 11th step, the pressure increased. It felt like carrying a heavy rock on his back. "Still, I can handle this." He pushed forward, toward the 20th step. The crowd began to murmur. He already slowed down. If even he struggles before 30, what about us? A red-haired youth scoffed. "What are you scared of? If you're afraid before even climbing, then don't bother. I'll surpass him." The others were fired up. "That's right. Let's go. Surpass him." Everyone charged forward. Ming Jinghao turned to Lu Yang. "Brother Lu, this stage doesn't seem to have tricks. I know a heart-calming mantra. I can teach you." Lu Yang shook his head. No need, I want to try something. An experiment? The others nearby looked at him curiously. What is he doing? Why is he going up and down the steps? Don't tell me he's planning something again. Above, de Buffon snorted confidently. My Mount Wushan has no loopholes. If he doesn't climb step by step with his feet on the ground, he will fail. The entire mountain has the same effect. Trying to bypass the stairs won't work either. Meanwhile, Ming Jinghao began practicing the heart-calming mantra. His heartbeat slowed. His mind gradually became peaceful, detached, empty. So peaceful that he fell asleep. Drool hung from the corner of his mouth, making it obvious he was dreaming about something very pleasant. The mantra had pushed him into a zen-like state. His mind was completely serene, free from all distractions. He felt as if he had merged with nature itself. His body was relaxed, light, and carefree. But just as he was enjoying the dream, a punch suddenly smashed into the sun inside his imagination. Wake the hell up! Lu Yang shouted. Ming Jinghao jolted awake. One cheek was swollen. He looked at Lu Yang with a pitiful expression. Brother Lu, why did you hit me? Lu Yang pointed up the mountain impatiently. Look up there. They've already climbed that high. Ming Jinghao blinked. I was just... Lu Yang cut him off. I finished my experiments, drew the blueprint, and even waited for you for 2 hours. He then got straight to the point. Do you have a sharp artifact? Something that can cut down trees? Ming Jinghao nodded. I do. It can be controlled with intent and cuts through iron like mud. My family gave it to me for self-defense. He paused. What are you planning to do? Lu Yang grinned. Perfect. With this, we don't need to use that exhausting, stupid method of climbing. Ming Jinghao's eyes widened. You found a way to pass? Lu Yang replied confidently. Of course. I've already seen through the true meaning of this test. Ming Jinghao frowned. The true meaning? Lu Yang nodded. This stage is actually testing wisdom. Ming Jinghao was confused. Wisdom? How so? Lu Yang pulled out a blue cloth and began explaining. In most stories, climbing a mountain to test one's Tao heart is a classic trial. No techniques. No artifacts. Only willpower. Simple. Traditional. Practical. Then he pointed at the rules. But this test is different. He emphasized each point clearly. There is no time limit. You can use artifacts and tools. As long as you reach the 50th step, you pass. Lu Yang smirked. From the moment senior brother announced the rules, he was already giving us hints. He repeated it multiple times. There are no restrictions on the method. Ming Jinghao listened carefully. But his mind wandered slightly. From afar, Yunji was quietly observing everything. She turned to de Buffon. You actually designed such an ingenious trick into the test? De Buffon immediately broke into a cold sweat. Why yes. Of course. Both the Tao heart and the method of seeking the Tao are equally important. Nearby disciples whispered quietly. Method of seeking the Tao? My foot. Senior brother Dai just wanted to show off Mount Wushan and accidentally said too much. Yeah, he always loves showing off that artifact. Only eldest senior sister actually believes him. De Buffon's face darkened. The others immediately turned away, pretending nothing happened. Back to the test. Ming Jinghao followed Lu Yang's instructions and began testing something. He jumped from one step to another. Brother Lu is right. When I jump before my feet touch the ground, there's no pressure at all. And when I jump back down, it's the same. It's only when I land that the pressure suddenly hits. He looked shocked. Our physiques are unified, artifacts are suppressed. There must be a reason this loophole exists. Then he asked, but even if this is true, how do we reach the 50th step without stepping on the ground? Lu Yang smiled. I've already designed it. Look. He revealed the blueprint. A giant wooden ladder. Ming Jinghao's eyes lit up. Brother Lu, you even know woodworking and mechanics? They quickly began planning. The dagger can't fly here, but cutting trees is easy. We cut trees, roll them down, and process the wood using controlled intent. How much force can your dagger produce? About 1,000 caddies. That's enough. We can use it to assemble the heavier parts, especially the top section. Otherwise, we can't lift it. Ming Jinghao asked. What about this joint here? Lu Yang explained patiently. Fit it like this, twist it, then lock it in place. This is a standard mortise and tenon structure. I see. But building such a huge ladder will take time. Lu Yang remained calm. Don't worry. That barbarian reached the 40th step half an hour ago. He'll only get slower from here. Meanwhile, other candidates were struggling. Sweat poured down their bodies. Manga was moving inch by inch. 41. He roared in pain. Tears and snot streamed down his face. The mountain felt unbearably heavy. Below, Lu Yang and Ming Jinghao were also exhausted. They had spent hours cutting trees and testing designs. Finally, the ladder was complete. A red-haired candidate suddenly froze. A massive wooden ladder appeared beside him out of nowhere. Ming Jinghao placed his hands on his hips and laughed. Easy. Lu Yang nodded smugly. A small sword spirit nearby complained. I did all the work. Of course it's easy for you. Ming Jinghao waved it off. It was Brother Lu's idea. He should go first. Hurry! The barbarian is almost there. He dragged Lu Yang forward. Behind them, De Buffon stared at the devastated forest. His fists clenched. His eyes twitched. My mountain. My trees. My test. Meanwhile, the river spirit burst into laughter. Ha ha! Little Dai, well done! You sacrificed so much for the sex talent selection. You exposed the loophole, and even shaved half the mountain bald. Yunji smiled faintly. You did a good job. Junior brother. De Buffon forced a smile through gritted teeth. Why yes, this is my duty, the river spirit added. You must take good care of those two in the future. Of course. Then I'm no longer angry. He pointed toward the mountain. Look, they're already climbing. Ming Jinghao looked up. Brother Lu, what are you doing? Lu Yang trembled slightly as he climbed. This is too high. A bit dangerous. Ming Jinghao blinked. You're afraid of heights? Lu Yang snapped. What do you know? This is called safety first. Forward! Forward! The further we go, the safer it gets. After a long struggle, Manga finally reached the 49th step. The last step, he smiled in relief. But suddenly, Arrived! Arrived! Finally! Lu Yang dropped from the sky with a huge grin. First place! Ha ha! He landed directly on the finish line. But, boom! Gravity suddenly increased. Lu Yang smashed face first into the ground. Brother Ming, careful! Too late. Ming Jinghao also crashed down face first. Despite his bleeding face, he raised his hand proudly. You're too late, Brother Lu. I'm second. Manga stood there, panting, completely confused. Looking at the two strange people in front of him. Ming Jinghao waved cheerfully. Come, come, Brother Mangu, sit here. Meanwhile, Lu Yang shouted down the mountain. Future fellow disciples. Keep going. Ming Jinghao asked. What does keep going mean? Lu Yang smiled. It means work hard, sprint, hurry up. Then let's cheer together. The three of them sat at the top, waving and shouting encouragement. Below, the exhausted candidates were inspired. The red-haired youth roared and surged forward. Others followed. Keep going! Keep going! The mountain echoed with voices. No longer silent suffering. It became a battle of will, a shared struggle. As the sun began to set, cheers continued endlessly. This test had unknowingly turned into a festival of perseverance. From afar, de Buffon smiled faintly. He and Yunji looked at the candidates, then nodded. These two brats are actually quite interesting. Yunji lightly waved her hand. The bells at her wrist chimed softly. Mist surged forward, condensing into drifting clouds that lifted everyone into the air. She spoke calmly. Congratulations. You have successfully passed the 3 trials. You are now disciples of the Wenao sect. She gestured ahead. Behold, the Wenao sect. The crowd stared in awe. Wow, it's beautiful. So this is the Wenao sect. How grand, how imposing. Truly magnificent. Is this really it? Incredible. From now on, I will pursue the immortal Tao here. Brother Lu, look, it truly deserves its reputation as one of the 5 great immortal sects. Seated on the floating cloud, watching the ground grow farther and farther away, Lu Yang swallowed hard. His heart felt like it might leap out of his chest. This can't be real. I'm standing on the ground. I'm definitely standing on the ground. Beside him, Ming Jinghao stared ahead, completely speechless. Without hesitation, he grabbed Lu Yang and pulled him forward. Look, Brother Lu. Lu Yang opened his eyes. He glanced down. Ah! He screamed and clung tightly to Ming Jinghao, refusing to give up. Ming Jinghao forced his eyes open with his hand. Look! Finally, Lu Yang saw it clearly, and froze. At the center of a vast mountain range, a towering peak rose into the sky. Its cliffs were sharp and vertical, like a divine sword piercing through the clouds. Around it, 8 other mountains stood. Each radiated a unique and powerful aura. Yunji explained calmly. The core of the Wenao sect consists of 9 peaks. The central peak is Tianmen Peak, belonging to the sect leader. The other 8 peaks belong to the 8 elders. Each elder specializes in a different field, and each peak serves a different purpose. As for the remaining mountains, some are trial grounds. Some extend from the elders' peaks. Some are cultivation grounds for disciples. And some are forbidden lands. The details cannot be explained in a few words. You will understand in time. She continued. For the next month, the sect values destiny. You may explore freely. After 1 month, you must choose an elder as your master. Of course, the elder must also be willing to accept you. Greetings, eldest senior sister. Brother, you can put me down now. Manga spoke directly. What if we wander into dangerous areas? Are we only allowed to choose elders as masters? Can we choose the sect leader? Yunji replied calmly. All dangerous areas are guarded. You may explore freely. The sect leader can also be chosen. But he has never liked taking disciples. Your chances are extremely slim. Even so, many still long to choose the sect leader. Meanwhile, at the top of Tianmen Peak, inside the discussion hall, a smooth water mirror floated in midair, through special techniques. It displayed everything that had happened during the trials. 8 figures watched silently. Some nodded. Some shook their heads. Some praised. Some criticized. Their opinions were completely divided. The debate grew intense, almost turning into a fight. This manga is excellent. His bloodline is pure. His temperament simple. He is perfect to inherit my legacy. And that feathered immortal physique, immune to all techniques. Flawless. It has been years since we've seen such talent. Li Haoran, with his fire spiritual root, is also promising for alchemy and forging. But his temperament is too impatient. The second elder, Baoyan, spoke. As for the young man from the Meng family and Liu Yang, one has a pure yang spiritual root. The other has a sword spiritual root. Both have great potential. And their methods of passing the trials were ingenious. They shocked everyone. He turned to the first elder. Why not take them as your disciples, big brother? The first elder, Qin Zhenyan, replied calmly. If you like them so much, why don't you take them yourself? The second elder frowned. I'm not suitable. You only had one disciple, and he has already graduated. Do you plan to idle away until retirement? The first elder shrugged. I just want a peaceful retirement. What's wrong with that? If you like them, take them both. The argument escalated. You old rogue. I'll suppress you. How can you have no ambition? And what if I refuse? You. Suddenly, another elder interrupted. Look. Yunji kept those two behind. Back outside. After everyone left, Liu Yang and Ming Jinghao exchanged uneasy looks. Brother Liu. I have a bad feeling. She let us pass first, and now she's going to settle accounts? She wouldn't be that obvious, right? Silence filled the air. Then, Yunji spoke. You too. Both of them jumped. They stood straight immediately. Greetings, eldest senior sister. We await your instructions, Yunji said coldly. I did not expect the two of you to pass the trials, and even rank among the top. But do not become arrogant. The ancient barbarian Mangu, the feathered immortal physique, Tao Yaya, and Li Haoran with the fire spiritual root. All of them are geniuses, no less than you. Hearing this, Ming Jinghao puffed up proudly. He winked at Liu Yang. Then he said loudly, the feathered immortal physique is so rare. Yet eldest senior sister says she ranked behind us. You flatter us too much. Liu Yang sighed. Senior sister probably meant. She was literally standing behind us in line. Ming Jinghao froze. Ah, I see. Yunji interrupted calmly. I kept you here for 2 reasons. First, to remind you to stay grounded. Second, to guide you, sensing her seriousness. Both of them quickly promised to cultivate diligently. Yunji's expression softened slightly. After all, you did give me a ride. She turned to Ming Jinghao. You possess the pure yang spiritual root. Your vitality is strong. You are the natural enemy of ghosts and demons. The third elder specializes in this path. You may take him as your master. Ming Jinghao bowed happily. Thank you for your guidance, eldest senior sister. Then, Yunji looked at Liu Yang. You possess the sword's spiritual root. The person most proficient in the sword Dao is my master, the sect leader. You should take him as your master. Liu Yang froze. But, senior sister, you just said the sect leader doesn't like taking disciples. He suddenly noticed something strange. To Ming Jinghao, she said, you may choose. But to him, she said, you should choose. The meaning was completely different. Yunji spoke calmly. It's fine. I can decide on his behalf." Her tone left no room for argument. Lu Yang stood there, speechless. After Yingji left, Lu Yang and Meng Jingzhao also went to inspect the cave dwelling. As they walked along the path, Lu Yang reminded him, "In 1 month, it won't just be us choosing an elder. The elders will also be choosing us. What they base their decision on will definitely be our performance during this month. Your personality, your preferences, and even how you choose to spend this month will all influence how the elders see you." Meng Jingzhao paused, then wondered aloud. "Then what exactly should we do this month to attract the elders' attention?" Lu Yang revealed a knowing expression as he replied, "If you deliberately disguise yourself well, it might catch the elders' attention. But it will also affect their judgment. If you end up acknowledging the wrong master and are assigned an unsuitable cultivation method, then that would be disastrous." Meng Jingzhao fell silent for a moment, thinking carefully before he spoke again. "So, we should just do whatever we want, right? But if we do that, will we really end up cultivating into someone reckless and arrogantly overbearing?" Hearing this, Lu Yang could only click his tongue. In the end, he reluctantly accepted this way of thinking. Thus, the first day of their free exploration journey began in front of the grand and majestic scripture pavilion. Lu Yang held his name token in his hand, clearly marking his identity as a new disciple. Then he took out the Winao sect map and examined it carefully. On the map, there was a small note written, "Exclusive for new disciples. Everyone may freely choose where to go. For those who know nothing about cultivation, it is recommended to go to Yanchuan Peak to learn the basics, or to head to the scripture pavilion for self-study." Lu Yang frowned slightly as he muttered, "This map really isn't very detailed." Still, he made his decision and stepped inside, secretly feeling proud of his smart choice to improve his knowledge. The moment he entered, he was overwhelmed by the interior. The space inside was enormous, filled with towering bookshelves that stretched all the way to the ceiling, occupying every inch of the hall. At the entrance of the scripture pavilion, a senior male disciple stopped him and asked, "Newcomer?" Lu Yang immediately cupped his hands respectfully and replied, "Yes, greetings, senior brother." The senior disciple calmly explained the rules. "First, with your current clearance, you are only allowed to read on the first floor. Second, you may only check out 1 book at a time. Third, you must take proper care of the books. If any book gets dirty or damaged, you will have to compensate for it at its original price." Lu Yang nodded seriously. "Understood. I've memorized it." The senior disciple said nothing further and allowed him to enter. Inside, the variety of books was astonishing and incredibly comprehensive. There were all kinds of selections, ranging from mortal world knowledge such as folk arts and introductions to xianxing, to materials for cultivators like secret manuals, chi training techniques, and insights into foundation establishment. Lu Yang reached out and casually touched a book titled Jade Maiden Heart Sutra on a high shelf. As he looked around, he couldn't help but marvel at how the entire first floor contained knowledge from both the mortal and cultivation worlds. Suddenly, his gaze stopped. Something hidden deep within the bookshelf caught his attention. He narrowed his eyes slightly and muttered, "Why is there a book stuck in that gap?" His curiosity instantly took over. Without hesitation, he reached out and pulled the mysterious book out. The moment he did, he blew hard to remove the thick layer of dust covering it. Whoosh! Dust scattered into the air, making Lu Yang cough repeatedly. Cough! 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 Even so, his hands never loosened their grip on the book. But the moment he clearly saw the title, his eyes widened in shock. Dragon and Phoenix Transformation. What an imposing name! Lu Yang exclaimed. I don't even need to look at what's inside to feel how extraordinary it is. At that moment, something strange happened. He suddenly felt as if he could hear the cries of a dragon and a phoenix. In front of his eyes, vague and hazy figures of a dragon and phoenix appeared, as if they were alive. Then, just as quickly as they appeared, the figures vanished, like actors stepping off a stage. Lu Yang was startled. He raised his hand and lightly slapped his own face. Was that, just now, a hallucination? He muttered. No, that shouldn't be it. A sudden thought flashed through his mind. Could it be, just like in those novels, I've encountered some kind of great opportunity? Even though he still felt doubtful, a trace of excitement rose within him. Without hesitation, he flipped open the first page of the book. But right at that moment, slice! The sharp edge of the paper cut his finger. A few drops of blood fell directly onto the page. In the next instant, the old book suddenly emitted a burst of dazzling golden light. It was as if something inside was about to break free. Lu Yang's heart began pounding violently. Everything that was happening was completely beyond his expectations and control. He couldn't tell whether this was a blessing or a curse. At the same time, he suddenly felt as though a powerful presence was watching him. Subconsciously, he didn't dare to move. The feeling, it's getting stronger, he thought nervously. That means, that presence is getting closer. Finally, that powerful presence stood right behind him. Silent, mysterious, terrifying. Cold sweat instantly broke out across Lu Yang's back. Then, at last, the presence spoke. You. Lu Yang trembled and responded. Why yes, you dirted the book. Lu Yang froze. He slowly turned his head back, and finally saw who it was. It was the same senior male disciple from the entrance of the scripture pavilion. The senior frowned slightly, his gaze fixed on the bloodstains on the book, clearly displeased. I received a golden light notification, the senior said coldly. You dirted a book. Hearing this, Lu Yang immediately brightened up. Senior brother, this book is really magical. Did you see what just happened? Magical, my ass. The senior snapped bluntly. He rolled his eyes and explained. That golden light was triggered by the scripture pavilion's formation. It's used to mark books that have been dirted. Let me see which book it is. You'll have to compensate at the original price. However, the moment he opened the book and saw its contents, even the senior froze. For several seconds he didn't move at all. Then, as he flipped through the pages, his expression shifted from confusion to shock. How is this possible? He muttered. This is actually that legendary forbidden book. I thought all copies of this kind of book had already been cleared out and destroyed. Who hid it here? Lu Yang blinked curiously and asked. Senior brother, what kind of book is it exactly? The senior's expression turned serious. He hesitated for a moment, thinking to himself, should I really tell such a secret to this newcomer junior brother? But in the end, he decided to tell the truth. This book, he said slowly, records the mating process of dragons and phoenixes. Because it was described in too much detail, it caused a joint protest from the Dragon Clan and Phoenix Clan. That's why it was classified as a forbidden book. Lu Yang casually picked his nose and said, Isn't that just some weird kind of erotic book? Shut up. The senior suddenly roared. Immediately after shouting, he quickly changed his expression and put on a pitiful look, as if apologizing to the heavens for his outburst. Then suddenly, Lu Yang seemed to remember something important. He scratched his head awkwardly and asked nervously, Senior brother, then about this dragon and phoenix transformation, how much do I need to compensate? I'm a first-time offender, and also a newcomer. Can you maybe give me a discount? The senior glanced at the book. Then he glanced at Lu Yang. The corners of his eyes twitched slightly. What dragon and phoenix transformation? He said calmly. Our Windao sect is an orthodox and righteous sect. How could we possibly have such a forbidden book? You must be mistaken. If you go around claiming you've seen something called dragon and phoenix transformation, you might anger the dragon clan and phoenix clan. Liu Yang immediately sensed the underlying meaning. Without hesitation, he quickly changed the topic. All right, senior brother. I actually came here to find a book that introduces this world. But after searching for a long time, I couldn't find anything. Could you please point me in the right direction? He deliberately put on the most sincere expression he could manage. The senior snorted coldly and turned his head away. But even so, he still gave directions. Go 3 shelves to the left. 5th row from the bottom. Look for a book titled Geography of the Continent. Hearing this, Liu Yang immediately cupped his hands respectfully. Thank you, senior brother. Thank you very much. The two of them exchanged a glance. A faint smile appeared on both of their faces. As if, in that moment, they had perfectly understood each other's intentions.